the way.
We wanted men.
There we go. Now it's recording. Welcome to episode 199 of the Smugglers Galaxy Podcast, your favorite Star Wars podcast for smugglers in the galaxy. I'm Glen, and Jason's across the town at his house, back from the beach. Jason, how you doing, man? How was the beach?
The beach was good. I was only there I was at Myrtle Beach for about 7 days, but I only spent like 2 days at the beach.
The beach is hard to spend a bunch of time at.
Yeah. But I did get up at 6 a.m. to take some photos of shore troopers on the beach. The challenge was you would expect the sun to rise over the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the position of the sun, it was rising over a building. So I couldn't get the cool shot of like the sun rising over the shoulders of the shore troopers. It's just, they're also known as coastal defender stormtroopers.
Oh.
But yeah, so it was a cool shot. I got it. I did my best, and I can Photoshop to perfect it and really make it work for what I'm doing.
They look cool, man. I got to give you credit for getting up that early and going to the beach.
Yeah, I regret it. Because one of the mornings I had to get up just as early to go play golf.
Ooh, I didn't know you played golf.
Played 9 holes, and I did decent. I did better than I expected. Started locking in the swing towards the end of it, but it's been like, I don't know, 5-10 years since I last. No, it's probably 5 or 6 years before I last played golf.
I used to, well, when I say play, I used to go to the driving range a lot. And I went there one time and I got a driver out. So I'm just, 3-wood or something, just knocking the crap out the ball and totally messing it up. And this old guy just looks at me and he's like, "What the hell are you doing, son?" So he's like, "Get the 9-iron out and just swing with the 9-iron and, learn there and then go the other way. Don't start with the big boy club." And, yeah, I mean, it was fun. I never really played a lot of like going out on the golf course. There was like a 3, I used to live near a par 3 and it was kind of fun to go to for a couple of times, but it just got too expensive. So now I bowl.
Very little Star Warsing on vacation. Actually, I didn't really go to Walmart. Well, did go to Walmart once, but that was just to get supplies. There was a comic book shop down the street. Didn't get to make it there. I did go to Ross, but I didn't find anything, unfortunately.
What would you look for at Ross, Jason? I don't know.
In an ideal world, I would walk in and I would find 2.
Yes.
One for me and one for you. Because I have the international version. There's a part of me that kind of wants the regular version, but I'm not gonna, not lose sleep any if I don't have the US version. I think the international one, because everyone keeps popping up with the regular Series 2 Sabine TIE Fighter from Micro Galaxy Squadron.
Right.
I kind of feel like mine is more rare with the international stuff on it.
It might be. Yeah, I haven't found one yet. I'm checking as many Rosses as I can several times a day. I will, like I've said, I'll hit a Ross and then several hours later hit it again. Just in case. And I haven't found anything, but I know that the prices are going down. They were $200-$300 a week ago. Now they're like $100. So I'm really hoping that the prices will continue to plummet. I have been offered one for $1.25, but I can't pull the trigger on it. I mean, I'd be maybe $50 just because it would stop me spending time looking. But I haven't. I got other things I want to spend money on. I still would love to have that ship, but right now there's other things that need my money.
But yeah, I tried watching Star Wars on vacation. That was quickly vetoed by a bunch of kids who wanted to watch the they watched Hannah Montana the movie, but they also watched Taylor Swift the concert. So I was outvoted.
How old is the Hannah Montana movie, dude?
I mean, we're talking 2010, 11, 12-ish.
Wow.
But it's funny because Rico from that show was the brother in Fallout.
Yeah.
So it's funny to see him be the little comedian and then be the serious kid on that show. So, but yeah, it was a great vacation. It's over. It's time to get back into the swing of life. I'm not looking forward to waking up on Monday.
Yeah. Well, at least you only have like 3 days this week, right? Yeah,
Probably
Thursday.
3.5. They let us go early on Wednesday.
Yeah, I wish my work would do that. They kind of do that, but it's sort of like an unwritten rule. If we can get off early, great. If not, you're working.
Yeah,
But well, I can tell you had a more peaceful week than I did.
my dogs. You watch my dogs.
I watched your dogs. Hey, they weren't bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. I'm doing it more for the podcast, but they you know, after the first day or two, they were like cool. You know, after about 3 or 4 days, they were like part of the family. And my dog, you know, our dogs. Because I've got 3 dogs, you've got 2 dogs, and yeah, they the first couple of nights, every time the cat would walk by their kennel, they just like, and
They're
yeah,
barkers.
huh?
They are barkers.
They are barkers, but so Kanan's a barker too. So him
He
and
joined in.
Brownie were getting along pretty good for a minute. It was funny because Brownie would get on my wife's nerves, and she's smaller than my cat, so she'd like pick her up by the harness and just move her. And I was just like,
Yeah,
it was funny.
Sunny's definitely in recovery mode right now. She's just lounging around the house and not very active. But
They got worn out. My
yeah.
dogs definitely played a lot with them. But yeah, no, it was cool. It was fine. But you know, like you when you asked how crazy is it, I'm like, when is it not crazy when you have 5 dogs at your house?
I did I haven't picked anything up in a couple weeks now,
Mhm.
but I did pre-order the Cantina bar today.
Yay!
I decided, what difference does it make? There's 8 days left, and as I've been lately, I'll probably forget. So I'm just gonna lock it in now. And I've got the bar coming, the full thing. I'm pretty sure it's gonna pass the 8,000 mark. We're definitely gonna get that. We're definitely gonna get Greedo.
Yeah, it's not hitting it over 4th of July, is it? Not
The
that I mean
July,
the deadline's not for 4th of July.
isn't it July 8th?
Okay. As long as it doesn't like I think if they were to do it July 4th weekend, like the 8th, I think is still, that's like Monday.
Yep,
I
that's
think,
when it's gonna close. I do feel like with the July 4th weekend, people will be focused on it and the pre-orders will start coming in, I
okay.
think.
I thought it would be the exact opposite, but maybe.
No, I think around July 5th or 6th, it's gonna start escalating and that bell curve is going to start rocketing up and people are going to be able to, there's a limit of 5. Obviously they will have some companies, toy shops buying some and stocking that in their place.
Right. Yeah, I talked to we had our buddy Ryan came by on Saturday, and we were talking, and he's like, "Hey, did you back it? You obviously backed it." I'm like, "Where would I put it, man? Number one, I don't have the space. Number two, I really don't have the $500 because, like I said, there's other things that are buggy, or taking my attention away from other
Yeah,
collecting pieces that I'm hunting
yeah.
or hunting down." But I mean, I think they did a good job with promoting it. It does definitely feel like with the canteen, not the cantina, with the sail barge, there was a lot more hey, this is what's going to happen. There was a lot more people, a lot more updates. They
Hmm.
pushed it harder, but maybe I don't know. It doesn't feel like they're doing it again. Maybe they just don't care, or maybe there's too much stuff going on.
Yeah, I'm curious to know when the Ghost is coming because now it's been a year since we've pre-ordered the Ghost, and
Yeah.
that well, it'll be a year at San Diego Comic-Con, so it's like late August. Okay. But we're approaching that time is what I'm trying to make out of that.
Mhm.
And so that should be coming sometime soon. It'd be nice to get an update on that. And then next fall is a long time to wait for this bar, especially when it just looks like vacuum formed walls and small cups, which won't take a lot. I don't
100 cups.
100 cups, nine different variations. So
Yeah, and one other thing Ryan said is he wasn't happy that there wasn't a floor, but I'm like, with the way they're promoting it, I kind of understand why there's not a floor.
yeah.
The way that that you could set it up on your shelf. And he had mentioned that, we're all running out of space, so they keep producing these huge pieces. Where's everybody going to put them?
Yeah, going with that space thing, I've kind of wanted to set up a shelf in my room for Rogue Fun, like a
Yeah,
trophy, for lack of a better term, a trophy shelf or an event shelf or something like that.
right.
But it's going to involve me putting some stuff away in storage, which I'm not happy about, or finding a new place. But like you're saying, I have limited availability in that room to put anything else. So
I
really
mean,
looks like I'm out of like Blade Runner or something right now. Can I change
it
my,
really does.
can I change,
Jason, uh,
I'm trying to see if I can change like a black and white filter or something.
yeah, he's on his work computer and it's in a
That's not
Zoom
it.
window. That's weird.
That's not it.
So he's on a weird, he looks weird. Um,
That's
yeah.
not it. I found sunglasses, so
Yes, there we go. Huh?
huh? Sorry.
It's definitely this is a visual gag. There's a pirate. Arr.
It,
Um,
that doesn't appear. Wait. Oh, that's a TV. It's not a
you can
whatever.
start talking like Max Headroom.
Yeah, did you see, I know this is way off topic and I'm so sorry because I know I try to steer it for Star Wars, but Paramount, which owns MTV, which I mean
Mhm.
they bought Viacom, Viacom owned MTV, so uh it's just in order to save money or something, maybe cut back on a server or two. Paramount just deleted all the MTV files, like 30 years of music history
What?
on their website on
Okay, okay.
mtv.com. But it was all news, reviews, all that kind of stuff dating back to the 80s.
And this was stuff that was, I mean, is it gone forever? It's just gone off the website.
It's just been deleted. Like they didn't even offer it to the Library of Congress because there's some cultural relevance to mtv.com, but it's just all gone.
Wow. I've heard that that's kind of been the thing with like digital photography because people are so used to, oh, I don't like this picture, I'm going to delete it. Whereas when you were doing film photography, you just kept everything. So, it's sort of the same, I guess, same thing. I guess the
That's
digital age.
that's why I'm still a proponent. I know people when I worked at my last company, I worked with like kids that were, I say kids, they're about 10 years younger than me, but they were all into the digital stuff. And like at one point I was like, I got to buy the new, I don't know, Dave Matthews CD. And they looked at me like, you still buy CDs? I'm like,
Yeah,
yes, I still buy CDs. Like when they start offering Andor on 4K, yes, I'm going to buy that because of things like this. Companies can come in and maybe Disney's starting to struggle. They need to sell off Lucasfilm, and then Andor suddenly wiped from the internet.
right. Jeez.
So I brought it back to Star Wars.
Always bring it back to Star Wars. It's Jason.
But speaking of Andor, there's a couple
Yes.
Hasbro things, but um, shoot, what's his name? Who plays Andor?
I don't know.
I was gonna say Pedro Pascal, but I didn't write that down. Um, plays Cassian Andor. I could see his face. Freaking A. Hold on. You can scream at me. Cassian Andor is played by Diego Luna was at a con this
Uh-huh.
past week and he was doing Q&A, and they asked him about if any familiar faces will appear in the second season of Andor. And what he said is, I can tell you Rogue One is coming. He's meaning like the event that is in the timeline. So So there'll be characters that you will recognize. There will be cool stuff. For those who love Rogue One, this season is going to be very special. And it's going to be fascinating to go straight into Rogue One after watching the second season because you will see Rogue One from a different perspective. And it was reported after that that Ben Mendelsohn will return as director Krennic. But that's interesting because it's like I'm pretty confident I know who these characters are. I would guess, obviously, like I just mentioned, director Krennic's going to appear, but maybe Mon Mothma is going to appear again. Well, she's definitely going to appear because
Right.
she was in season one, but probably some of the rebels in the background because we did see Melshi.
Right.
Season one, he has a small role in Rogue One. But some of those characters that were in the rebellion were pretty on the sketchy side to begin with because they were telling Andor to go ahead and kill Galen Erso. So it's not like they're upstanding citizens. They're pretty shaded in gray.
Right. Well, you know what my answer was? I can't say Sabine because Sabine, the timeline doesn't work. So I think Hera, you definitely can. Yeah, I think
Well,
you definitely could get Hera pop up for a minute or two in there.
and I would be okay with that because Hera was mentioned in Rogue One.
Right.
So she's definitely around in that timeline. So that would work for me. I'd be happy with that. But
Yeah.
I don't want to see Jyn Erso.
No, you
Um,
couldn't see Jyn Erso, I don't think.
unless there was like a first attempt to try to track her down or something. I don't know.
I could see them if they were going to do if they were going to do a Jyn Erso mention, it would have to be like hunting her down or this person we're going to need to look for her or something, not her pop up in the, not a
Maybe
not
like
a
a holographic 6-inch figure will appear in the universe. He's like, you need to find this person in this Jyn Erso.
right, and then Hasbro can release it the next week.
And they'd be so happy because they're like, we couldn't sell it the first time around. Let's see if we could sell it the second time as a holographic figure.
Right. Yay, more holographic figures.
We had to offer it as a 3-cent figure at Walmart in order to clear the shelves.
Yeah, that was a fun time with 3-cent figures at Walmart.
It was a budding time. I mean, that was Disney's second movie in Star Wars, and it was just like, we're gonna get Star Wars movies every year for the rest of our lives.
Right. And 3-cent figures. You're picking up figures, 5 figures for $5 or less than $1. You're picking up a bunch of figures. My drummer at the time had actually found a bunch of them, and I gave him like $20 for 5 figures because I knew what he paid for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we bought a bunch of those for 3 cents at Walmart at clearance.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
So
Hasbro, what?
no. Finish the news, and then we got
Hasbro unveiled their San Diego Comic-Con offering this year. It's an Episode 1 Darth Maul Black Series figure in the vintage, I say vintage, geez, vintage Episode 1 style packaging. He comes with the Sith speeder. He comes with the probe droid. He's got the binoculars and the double-bladed lightsaber, obviously, and the robes. It's gonna be $60. This one actually did kind of pull on the nostalgia strings, and I feel like I want this one. Because I just like the packaging, and again, I think it looks cool. So I don't know, but it's a repack, a repaint, but I think it's a creative one, and I like it.
right.
With that, they also announced a Stormtrooper and a Rebel Fleet Trooper 2-pack. It's the $44 price point, and it's meant to build up your troops so you can have one Stormtrooper, one Rebel Fleet Trooper, and you buy another one, and then you've got two, and you buy three, you've got three of them, and so on and so forth.
It'd be great.
And then they announced quietly, they were on one of those group calls with a bunch of fan sites where they can ask questions, and Hasbro's always like, I don't have anything to report at this time, but that's a great idea. But they did announce that TVC Hammerhead is coming to the Vintage Collection line, which is no surprise because they had the Black Series version that's going to be released soon, and they simply scaled that down for a TVC, and that's been their thing where they model it once and they produce it twice in two different scales. That's coming, and I'm excited about that for the bar, which I have back today. And And then the last piece of news that I have is that adults have surpassed preschoolers as the biggest toy group. Most
Hmm.
companies, um, and for most companies, it's the most important age group, the adult group. So that says a lot about the toy industry. If you don't have the preschoolers, in 20 years, this industry is going to be dead.
Yeah.
With the death of Toys R Us and KB Toys, there's not easy access to go to the toy stores anymore. Walmart, it's down to, 3 or 4 different aisles. It's not a whole store like it used to be where you can have 2 aisles of bikes and you have your aisles of skateboards and you've got your Legos and your board games section. It's all condensed, it's all minimized, and it's a dying industry.
It really is, and it's sad. It hurts my heart for the kids of tomorrow.
The 80s is a special time. So were the 90s, and I raise a beer for it.
Right. Let me pour one out. Did so you hadn't picked anything up this week?
No.
Yeah.
Did you?
I was at where did I go? Joe Fest. We have to report about Joe Fest.
Oh, thanks.
It's been that long because you were at out of town.
Myrtle Beach. I drove through Augusta, and I was considering a stop by Joe Fest just to see it, but then I was like, it'd be a couple hours, and I really want to get on vacation.
It's more than a couple hours for Joe Fest, dude. It's pretty bad. I mean, it normally takes me like 2.5, 3 hours to walk to Joe Fest because you're just looking at everything. No, it was an okay show. I thought it was a good show because they had a lot of toy manufacturers there. So like Super 7 was there.
Yeah.
Fresh Monkey was there.
And I wanted to comment on that.
You do have a comment on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I did see Jordan Gasly's video while I was
Uh-huh.
on vacation. I was like, what did I miss? So I watched the video and he did the overview like from the stair tops and he looked down on things and
Right.
it looked like, I know PowerCon is not happening this year. It looked like a lot of those companies that went to PowerCon came here instead.
Nice.
So I thought that was really, really good because I recognized a lot of the setups and Super 7 was there and all these different toy
Like
companies.
I think it's Savage Crucible was
Savage
there.
Crucible was there.
Animals of the something Animal Kingdom.
Animals of the Safari Kingdom.
Right, where it's a bunch of animals. It's like basically it
Tiger
really
Man.
huh?
Tiger Man.
Tiger Man. And
Beast Dude.
It's really, they make so much awesome toys and it's like I want to get into all of it, but I only have room for so much. And with me getting into, on top of the Cosmic Legions and the Four Horsemen and the Mythic Legion stuff, I've gotten into Operation Monster Force and I'm waiting for those to come in. I can't really start another line, and I really want to start another line. Because you talk to these people and it really sucks because they're so cool and they're so welcoming and they just want their product out there. And I feel bad because I can't do it. I can't support them because I don't have it. But it's typical Joe Fest, man. You're there for it. It feels like, because when I first got there, I wanted to go to Fresh Monkey. So Big Bad Toy Store had Fresh Monkey and a bunch of other people. So like Big Bad Toy Store was there with a bunch of their brands. So I'm assuming they're a distributor for all these brands. And Fresh Monkey was there. You keep changing. There's a doggy. So I wanted to go talk to them because they had their exclusive Jason keeps staging pictures. They had their exclusive figures. And I was really contemplating buying because they had the Dracula and the Pharaoh, and they were the one color see-through stuff. And I was really considering buying the Dracula because it looked okay, but it was like $40 for a see-through figure, transparent figure, red figure with a couple of hands and in a plastic bag. And I couldn't pull the trigger on it. And I looked at it 3 or 4 times and talked to them and looked at all their other figures. and they had a really cool setup. They had a bunch of their stuff out. They had a really badass werewolf that I ordered like 2 days later. So I was kind of shocked at the price because it was like $85 for like a 6-inch werewolf. But
Ooh.
yeah, but it looks so awesome. The more you look at it, the more you're just like, I can see where the $90 comes from, because it has like 3 head sculpts, a bunch of different it's got like 2 different legs, 2 different arms, a bunch of hands, a bunch of feet, a bunch of weapons, and you're like, okay, I can justify it a little bit better. But they had a cool setup where they had like a castle with a bunch of their figures in it, so it was cool to see those figures that I've been looking at for like the last year on Big Bad Toy Store. Super 7 was there. They were selling a bunch of their stuff. What else? It felt like there was a lot more Star Wars and a lot more. My Transformer buddy was there, and he was trying to make some deals. They felt like there was a lot more high-end Transformers there this year, or at least stuff that got him excited. And to me, when I see him excited, it's high-end stuff that he gets excited over, AFA sealed in box stuff. And there was a lot of that stuff there. So the high-end stuff was definitely there. It didn't feel, talking the Second Chance, they did okay, but then they were like, we've talked to other people and we were doing better than they have been doing. So
That's an interesting trend.
Yeah, it feels like it's starting to soften, the toy industry is. But yet it's still strong in some points. I picked up 3 pieces from Four Horsemen. They have this genie they had that I've been looking at, and Jordan's like, you just need to freaking buy it. And I saw it and bought it because I was like, I don't want to buy it. It's so awesome, but I'm trying to stay with cosmics. And he's like, dude, it's an awesome figure. Just buy it. So I bought that. I bought one of a He-Man the Hawk, the guy that looks like a hawk, that He-Man homage figure. And then I bought another Cosmic Legion, like a blue alien, not an alien, but a blue spaceship guy. I don't remember these names. I really should remember the names for the Cosmic and Mythic Legions. I'm just like, yeah, it's this guy. And then I picked up a Wampa. Somebody had a Wampa for like $10. So picked him up. And then I picked something else up and I can't remember what it was. It was like, I picked up a Bill and Ted NES game because somebody had it. Yeah.
Was it boxed?
No, it was not boxed. It was only at like $18. And then Richard, I'm talking to the guy and I see Richard, our buddy Richard, in the back in the guy's booth just digging through stuff. And I'm like, I don't remember you. Richard, I forgot you collected. And then he's like, I talked about him at the fire. And I was like, oh, yeah, you did. And I totally forgot. And then I saw our buddy Jesse and his wife.
We're going to start calling you Dory. Welcome to episode 189. Sorry, that was 30 minutes ago.
So then I saw Jesse and his wife, and we were talking to them. This is another one of those. They were like, "Oh yeah, we hadn't seen you since Rogue Fun." I was like, "Oh yeah, you guys were there."
There's a lot going on that weekend.
And she was just like, it's cool because they'd caught me while I was like running in between rooms, and we talked for, it was just a quick hi, how you doing? And then I never saw him again. So it was like,
I don't even remember talking to Jesse, and I apologize for that. I know he was there.
Right.
But
so, I mean, they were cool. We hung out with them for a minute, and then we went, I stayed till like 4:30. But like Seth Green was there, and I think I saw him, but I was expecting, Seth Green from 20 years ago, and you see Seth Green from, the 40-year-old Seth Green, and he doesn't.
What do you want, kid?
Yeah.
I got the robots and I've got the chickens.
I saw pictures of him and I was like, oh, I think I saw that dude. But that does not look like the Seth Green I was expecting, because he looks sort of like I do. The beard is really gray now. He's gained some weight. And he had a ball cap on, pulled down low. So unless you were paying attention, you probably didn't notice him.
So he looks like the Dr. Evil version of him when he gets older and fat.
Probably. I haven't seen that movie, but yes, sure. We'll go with that.
Yeah. But yeah,
Um, but I talked to the guy who's doing the toy runner for the showrunner for Joe Lana, and he says it's going to be really good this year. It's going to be up in Gwinnett, and it should be in one big room, sort of the same, not maybe a quarter, not as big as Joe Fest, but same feeling. And I think it's going to be just, you're going to have, the way it sounds is you're going to have the big show is going to be Toy Lana, the smaller show is going to be Joe Lana, and that's going to end up being the only difference.
okay. Well, the
Because
GASWC will be there at Toylanta. We'll have a booth, I'm sure. We'll have a giveaway.
we were offered a space at Joe Lana too if we wanted it.
It
I'm
was
like,
not
I have
good
to talk to
timing.
my guys.
It was
Huh?
not good time. I don't think it's good timing this year.
Yeah. It's the end of September.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it.
Okay. So yeah, he was like, if you guys want a space, you guys want to do a panel, he's open for it. So yeah, I mean, I'll reach out to him because I think Jordan's out of town too for Joe Lana, so he's not gonna be able to make it. So it'll be one of those. It'll be a bummer, but
We
oh
uh
well.
we did get a lot of positive feedback on our last episode with Jim Fong.
Yes.
Um, and I did a different tactic today. I tried posting some pre-production photos to promote the episode that Jim was able to provide me. Um, but I wanted to bring up the you asked about the George Lucas minifigure
Yes.
at the end, and then he shared with us the Entertainment Weekly from 1997 with Harrison Ford on front. They interviewed Jim to talk about the creation of that guy. And he pretty much said the same thing, how it looked like Stallone from Cobra, but the article does mention that due to a mix-up, because all the minifigures look the same with the helmet on,
Uh-huh.
that not all the tie interceptors came with the George Lucas figure, which might be why my brother and I thought for the longest time that it didn't come with everyone, that it was kind of a special figure.
Hmm.
Um, and I was a big Entertainment Weekly reader, so there's a very good chance that that's where that story came up in the back of my mind, and I just remembered the story, but not where it came from. But according to Entertainment Weekly, yeah, that's the story, that the figures got mixed up and some only came with two regular ones. They didn't come with the George Lucas. So it's a pretty cool story, and it kind of confirms this tall tale that I had in the back of my mind.
Yeah. Well, that was a cool moment because or I think within like minutes of us finishing the episode, he was shooting that over to you. So,
Yeah,
he was definitely excited to talk to us. And yeah, it was great. I'm sure it shows in the episode that we were background actors in that
yeah,
episode. It was go this way, and he was gone before we even got the words out of our mouth. So
right.
that was definitely an awesome interview.
Um, but I don't remember what else I want to talk about. Oh, the Acolyte.
Yeah, we got the Acolyte. We talked about Joe Fest. You weren't there. Dude, I can't believe you didn't make it to the comic book shop that you were like 10 minutes from, or how far away were you from the comic book shop?
Yeah, it was about 15, 20 minutes, but I was just too busy. I was
Spending
visiting
time with your
family.
family.
I was visiting family. But
They
but
would have
yeah,
understood and been like, I gotta go.
Josie and I did, Josie and us, like there's multiple of me. Josie and I did reserve the TV 9 o'clock on Tuesday to watch that episode. And um, well, we're just gonna get into spoilers for the next 20 minutes or so. So we'll see on the next one if you haven't watched The Acolyte. But so spoilers are gonna begin. We were screaming at the TV at the multiple deaths, and we were shocked to see the people who died, because I didn't expect main character energy passing away so soon.
Right. It was definitely that whole scene. It felt it was an oh crap moment because yeah,
Hmm.
they were two of the main characters were gone, are gone
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Uh, Um, that and speaking of that, it definitely feels that's a new thing for Star Wars, isn't it?
yeah. I was because they were pumping up the second season, or talking about that, what could be for a second season. And normally you would sign someone on, and Carrie Ann Moss died in the first episode, and then you've got Jackie and Yor dying in this episode, and we're only 5 episodes in. We've got 3 episodes left. It's like, is Soul gonna not make it? Like, is it just gonna be, I don't know. It's kind of just shocking the amount of deaths that we've experienced so far in this show.
Right.
No one is safe.
Yeah, no, I mean, and as crazy as that is, I kind of enjoy that. I kind of enjoy that because it does feel like it stinks when shows are holding on to characters way too long. But then again, this one I think was kind of drastic.
So Jackie, I thought was a badass, and I'm like, this lady's holding her own against the Sith.
Right.
Um, and then unfortunately, right when I thought that, 3 blades go through her torso and she's gone.
It was like, oh yeah, you were like, all right, she's gonna do it because it's they're basically he's fighting with her, and it's like as soon because they keep going after his helmet, and I thought it was cool have his armor deflected lightsabers, so
Yeah,
they didn't understand that when they touch him, it would kill his lightsaber, and apparently that's in the EU.
it is
Um, and
apparently.
I don't remember like there was some I don't remember what it's called, but there's some material that deflects lightsabers, and
Apparently, there's a material that deflects lightsabers.
it's in the Acolyte. Um, so I thought that was kind of cool, and I thought that whole series, because it was like finally we're seeing action. Um, and yeah, as soon as that, is it her name Jackie? What's her name?
Jackie.
Jackie?
No, Jecki, but it's Jackie.
Jackie. She as like as soon as she knocked that dude's helmet off, you were just like, all right, cool. And then you see the 3 blades, and you're just like, damn it.
Yeah.
Um,
And I thought Yord's death was, like snapping someone's neck is, you're face to face. That's hand combat. That's very personal.
right,
And like the only thing I can compare it to is Darth Vader throwing the Emperor off because it's hand to hand. Everybody else really has been just lightsaber slicing through hands, and it's like from a distance away. This felt very brutal and very dirty, almost, if you will.
right. He was
So
definitely fighting dirty, and he made it known that he was fighting dirty, and he didn't have to follow rules. And he was just like, when you don't break rule, when you don't follow rules, you don't have to worry about breaking them. I know those weren't, that was the gist of what he said.
yeah, and I get a little shocked when I watch an episode and then I go check online and people are like, "That was horribly paced. That's stupid. That wasn't this good. That wasn't." I'm just like, we're not watching the same show because they were saying with episode 4 that it was a whole lot of nothing, but it was a whole lot of setting up what just happened.
Right.
And they're judging it on an episode, and that's why I keep gonna have to keep pounding this drum that you have to watch the whole series to appreciate it. I don't think you can take a small chunk of this particular series and say it's not good.
Right. The major complaint I have with the last 2 episodes is I think they could have done both because they were both
Yes.
30 minutes. They could have combined them and given us an hour episode.
It felt forced to cut it where they cut it. It felt
Yeah.
forced.
The
Um,
the the first one felt perfect. I thought the way they ended it with the reveal of the Sith was like, all right, cool. It felt right. But this one, it was like, man, you could have given us a little bit more on this episode.
yeah. And then the
Uh,
reveal, people were like, "Oh, it's so predictable. Oh, I knew it all along. They could have done something else." But I'm sitting there like, but maybe the predictability was part of the end, part of what the intent of the writer. Maybe
right,
they thought it's not important who the character is, and it's not important the mystery. This is not a I see dead people kind of moment. This is just yeah, it's me.
yeah. And that's
You're
pretty much
right.
how it. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's me. You're
Yeah,
right.
no,
It's not a big
totally.
deal.
And the way that when him and Saul were first introduced, when he still had the helmet on, he was like, "Master Saul, you don't remember me," and it's like, what's happened between the two of them because it's got to be deeper than oh, it was just the guy that you ran into in the street 2 days ago.
Yeah, yeah. So there, what is his name? Quimmer? It's Qimir.
because you're
Queemer,
asking the wrong person about names.
Queemir. Um, so that makes me think like he's not a Sith user then, or that he's part of that witch covenant, or he's part of another witch covenant.
He could be part of that witch covenant and then became a Sith, because when he says, he goes, "You would call me a Sith,"
Or
but I
maybe
don't, huh?
maybe the Jedi are just out to kill anybody that's not a force that's not the Jedi force using.
Right. It could be. I mean, that's sort of how we've always assumed with them.
Which I guess I would be disappointed if he's just been training himself and he's not a dark side user. But the way he came through the forest floating like Nosferatu or something, I thought that was just brilliant. I thought that was very creepy and well done.
Yeah, he was a creepy character. That mask is creepy. It does feel no, and it feels like you've got the really creepy guy, and then the nerdy guy shows up.
Yeah, he does the Clark Kent Superman thing really well,
Yeah.
where he's scary, but then what's her face shows up, May, and he's like, "Oh, hey, May,"
Yeah.
but he was able to flip it on like it was nothing.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. And then like my wife in the middle of him, like in this really intense scene, she goes, "Isn't it that guy from that show?" And I'm like,
Good place.
"Yeah." I'm like, I'm like, I don't know. I never watched that show. And I'm like, rewind.
Yeah, his name was Jason on The Good Place. I don't know why I know that.
Mm,
But I'm a little concerned where it's heading. I'm afraid it's going to turn into a parent trap situation.
uh-huh.
Because
Explain
we
that for me.
the parent trap is when the kids go to camp and then they discover who they are.
Mhm,
Their sisters separated at birth. So then they decide to switch so they can meet the other parent.
uh-huh.
So one goes to England and the one that's from England goes to like rural heartland country. And the one that's country goes to London and they have to turn on the accent. This is the Miley Cyrus one. Not Miley, jeez. Lindsay Lohan one.
That they're remaking. Or not remaking, they're doing an
They're
update.
making a sequel to Freaky Friday.
Oh, is it Freaky Friday? Never mind.
Yes. But so anyways, the twins switch places and they play a new part. And I'm afraid, when we saw May go with Saul and just walking like, she doesn't have any intent to immediately kill him. It's almost like a slow burn, like I'm gonna make you suffer kind of thing, maybe. I don't know.
Mm.
Or maybe she's gonna go to the Jedi Temple to destroy all the Jedis. Who's to say? It was just and then Osha is now with Darth Smiley Face. And so it's like, are we playing the part? Is this a parent trap situation? Because this is gonna be predictable.
I think the way I felt, he knew that she was OSHA, but Saul didn't realize that she had swapped, that was May.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't help that OSHA has a tattoo that May doesn't,
Yeah.
and they definitely showed it.
They
And
did.
I know people are going to gripe about the hair cutting, because it was just like, I felt like, first of all, she did it, and I was like, oh, here we go, somebody cutting their hair again. And then you realize why she did it in the next scene. Um, and I'm just, yeah, I think what you said, I think she's on her way back to the Jedi Temple, is going to keep her mouth shut till she gets there, and then all hell's going to break loose out there. I'm also curious because there's the whip, the green lady that they show her using her whip in a forest.
Yeah.
When does that happen?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to know when that's going to happen.
The other thing that I struggled with, and it was just May flip-flopping. Like, is she bad? Is she good? Was she playing bad? Was she actually
Yeah.
considering being good? What's going on with her motivations? Because it seemed like in one episode she was running away from the bad dude, like she wanted to cross over. She was looking for help. But then she's now joining Soul to complete her mission. I don't that was a little difficult to follow what her true motivation is.
Right. It felt like she flip-flopped and flip-flopped and flip-flop in like 30 seconds.
I'm a double agent. I'm a triple agent. I'm a quadruple agent. It's like, where does your truth really lie?
Exactly.
Come on.
So yeah, that's kind of a little bit annoying. So eh. I know, I think I realized why The acting doesn't bother me as much as it does some people, because my wife and I watch such horrible TV that this acting's great compared to some of the stuff we watch.
We watch so much Hallmark movies. This looks like The Godfather in comparison.
Basically, yeah, we're watching this one show on Paramount. It's called La Brea, where basically the whole gist of the thing is there's been this sinkhole
Yes.
and people go like 10,000 years into the future, and then they come back and it's just right now we're in like almost to the end of season 2, and my wife's like, this is how'd they get 3 seasons out of this show, because it's just gotten worse and worse. And I'm like, it's gotten worse because it was bad from the beginning. But it's like,
we'll show you what downhill looks like.
Right. And
just wait.
It's like people are showing up, and I'm like, what's it has an under the dome feeling to it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, I've already burned through all the good stuff. I need to find something else to watch. And oh, look, La Brea is on, and I got an hour to kill.
There's other things to watch.
I need to, dude, I've burned through all kinds of stuff. I even tried watching that Hitman movie, and I got through like 20 minutes of it. I'm like,
I did
but
watch.
I also,
no, never mind. This is a tangent we don't need to go on. Go.
Say it. No, but then like I was watching Severance on Apple TV, and I'm like, I need to finish that. So I went over there because that was more captivating.
Anything else?
I mean, so far, yes. I'm enjoying the Acolyte. You're enjoying it. You've got the personal connection because you and your daughter are connecting over it, which I think's awesome. Yeah, I don't.
Cool.
Joe Fest was awesome. I don't know.
Are we recording next Saturday?
We can, or Saturday. We can record sometime, huh?
If we announce it, we can go live for our 200th episode.
Oh, it is our 200th episode. We'll record. Yeah, we can record. I think I don't have anything going on Saturday. It's 4th of July weekend.
We'll just watch the Smugglers Galaxy page on the weekend of July 6th. We'll go live at some point. You guys can comment. Maybe we'll throw you a link. You can join us. You can stay for 15 minutes. You can stay for the whole thing. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a kind of wild card show for our 200.
It'll be wild and crazy, guys.
The way Glen likes it, just chaos everywhere. No script. I might bring up some news if there's any news this week, but it should be slow because it's July 4th and just a couple of days of work.
Right. But it's always amazing how, like, those short weeks, they want to cram 40 hours worth of work in 3 days.
Yeah. Cool.
Gosh, it's been 2 weeks. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to cover, but I don't think we do.
No, we can just wrap it up unless there's something else Star Wars related. And I went to Walmart that one time I was there, and they've got all of those 5-point of articulation figures. They're just hanging out.
Yeah.
My son did say that he thought the artwork was cool because it's like a comic book style artwork on the card back.
Mm-hmm.
But they're hanging out. They're not selling through.
Nothing's selling right now. I don't know. I'm waiting to see what, because like I don't think people are buying toys right now. I don't know why. Because I don't think kids are into toys. It's more handheld and that's all electronics.
It's all electronics in that Taylor Swift's and the Travis Kelce's.
Yes. And is Taylor pregnant? What?
No, she's not.
She just has a food baby. She's in Italy. Of course she'd. No.
She's eating a lot of Italian. We would all have the bump. Don't worry. Thank you for listening to the Smugglers Galaxy Podcast. If you could, please leave a like and a 5-star review of the show anywhere you listen to our podcast. It really helps us out and points people to our show. You can message us. You can email us. Our email address is smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I messed that up. Send us an email or message us. You know it now. I lost my place. I was doing this by memory, and I lost my place. This is why I need my card. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm sure you're saying it right now, and I don't need to say it. Those that are listening. Thank you to Alfonso Riviera for the Smugglers Galaxy logo, and thank you to Levi Waterhouse for the music. People collect for the love of it. Hashtag vote for your wallet.
I'm
Vote
always
for your
voting
wallet
for my
and vote
wallet.
with your wallet. People collect for. Oh my goodness! What a train wreck this ending has turned into. Sabine will be on next week. Pass on what you've learned. Be a positive force in the collecting community. This is the way.
This is the way.
Man, I fouled that.